Hey guys, Max here to talk a little bit about the new Rush Hour TV series on CBS, which is based on the old series of movies from back in the day starring Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker. Only here it's played by a couple of new guys, John Fu as Detective Lee and Justin Hires as Detective Carter. If you'll recall, that first movie, the first Rush Hour movie, was made back in 1998, and honestly, this new series kind of feels like it never left that time period. A lot of the sense of humor in this is, the tone is right, but the actual jokes, the jabs, the kind of rapport between the two main characters is kind of stilted, a bit dated. There's lots of racial humor in this, kind of like the old movies, but none of it's been really updated for the modern era. But the pair of actors playing Lee and Carter are actually pretty good. Justin does a pretty good job in terms of kind of bringing that same sort of energy that Chris Tucker did back in the day. John Fu is pretty good playing the stoic, kind of by-the-books cop, but he doesn't have any of that sort of Buster Keaton sense of humor that Jackie Chan did back in those movies. But the fighting is pretty cool, and John Fu does a really good job with those action scenes, which are admittedly a little short, and again, they kind of lack humor, which is weird because this series is developed by Bill Lawrence and Blake McCormick, who worked on Cougar Town, and that show is obviously a very smart, very funny, very light show. And the tone is right with this show, with Rush Hour, but it's just not quite, laugh out loud funny. The jokes just don't hit as hard as they might have back in the day, back in the 90s, when this humor was sort of more relevant. But overall, it's okay. If you like those movies, you should definitely check it out. But if not, it's kind of a typical sort of crime comedy type show. This kind of reminds me of Limitless, which is also on CBS and was also adapted from a movie, in that they both kind of have this sort of lighthearted tone, but it doesn't put the fresh spin on it that Limitless does. I think that it did so well with the going off the movie. Anyway, I gave it a 6, but if you want to read my full thoughts, you can check out my review on IGN.com. And for everything else Rush Hour, keep it here on IGN.